Hello everyone. It has been a while since I made another video. If you do CCNA, you know this um, section is actually the longest section I ever spent to study and practice the subnet. And I'm still 60-40. Like I think I know what I'm doing, but I feel like I need to practice more. Therefore, it take me longer to graph everything. Um, Also, I want to be able to understand everything, but I realize there's a lot of time, and I'm gonna focus on um, the next objective. And I do understand a little bit more than I used to now, so I go ahead and try to do this lab. For whatever reason, I understand the way he explained the VLSM more better. I don't know why, but the individual like questions is kind of trip me off. So don't know why. That's just me. I'll spend some more time on that. And he give three website to practice subnet with. So I'll do that every day. On top of that, you will have to do the Anki flashcard, and there's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So in this video, I just want to show you my progress and my understanding of kind of dividing the subnet, and I'm gonna walk you through it. What is my thought process? So I create the Excel sheet here to visualize everything and kind of keep it for my notes. And yeah, I hope this video will be helpful for anybody that is stuck in this particular one, because I'm sure everybody is stuck on this one also. All right, so um, I haven't done the lab yet and have the lab open here. Not yet, nothing configured just yet. And I think it's important to figure it out first, then you do the configuration, obviously. So here's the rules for the VLSM, and just go by that. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but here's my thought process. So I know the highest one is LAN 2, 64 hosts, and then 45, LAN 1, and then LAN 3, and then LAN 4, 14, and 9. So given the address here is 192.168.5.0/24, to create another subnet, to create a subnet, then I will need to borrow one. Borrow one, leave, borrow one meaning like plus one here, plus one, right? So that's why I get /25. And that leaves us with 7 bits total. That's 2 power of 7 equal to 128 total addresses that we could use. That's actually greater than 64. So that's why I choose /25. If I do 2 to the power of 6, that's equal to 64. That would be not enough because we need to reserve 2 address uh, for the for the broadcast. Um, Not the broadcast. What's the word for that? I'll get back to that. I know I said that wrong, but um, anyway, I know I need 128 because it's greater than 64, and I know this is a class C because it starts with 192. That means I need to focus on the last octet. That's just my thought process. And the default is /24. So you count up 1/25 because you borrow one. Okay, so that means the only changes is on this octets. Okay, So because I will need to borrow 1 bit, now it's slot 25, like I wrote here. And then I'll take the given address plus the new subnet. So that means I got this new address here. That is the network address. Okay, very important. And the way I do this is that I find the network address. That's the easy part. And then I find the last, the broadcast. That's I think that's the next part. And then you'll find the first and the last easily on this too after you find the broadcast. So so the third step here is to add the last octet of the network address to the block size. Okay, I call this the block size. You could also, um, call it add to like total address here. I think it make more sense. Total addresses. Okay, to find my max host IP address. Then I -1 to find the broadcast address. And that's how I find this broadcast address. So you can see, um, 0. So you have 128, right? So you know your network is zero point 0. 0 to 127 is equal to 128. You count it, right? Total. And that's why I got that's why I got 128. But then you -1 to find your broadcast. That's how I find my 127/25 here. That's just the way I do it. And then now I know my network and now I know my broadcast. In between, it doesn't, it's so easy. You just go up 1 and go down 1 on the broadcast, right? Go up 1 from the network's address and go down 1 to from the broadcast address to find the both first and last usable address. I hope that makes sense. But that's how I do it, and it seemed to work well and less stress. But you do need to understand the class default mask to be able to kind of figure it out. So each octet it's contain 8 bits, right? It's always start with 128, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1, right? Because you borrow 1. The first one is 128, you know? So let's leave you with 7 um, total addresses you could use. Together it's 256, right? So that's just how, that's my thought process. So once you find this first one correctly, do you want to use, I haven't finished it yet, but do you want to use the one above the broadcast would be, so I wrote the MAC address, the MAC network address. I could say the MAC broadcast address here of LAN 2. So it would be like 192.168.5.128/26. So how come you say, okay, why is slash 26? Well, you know, LAN 2, sorry, LAN 1 only need 45. Now, I only borrowed, how many do I borrow? I borrowed 2. So like 2 to the power of 6, that's equal to 64. And 64 is greater than 45. So that's what I'm gonna be using. And then the step is repeat. Same way like how I did here. Same thing, you know, same thing here. Okay, so default gateway is 24/24, right? And then I borrow 2, so I add 2. Now I got equal to /26. And I have 64 total address that I can use. Okay, so then I wrote down my network address, which is, you can see here 192.168.5.128. 128/26. Now I find my broadcast. I'm gonna write B shortcut. Um, Now 128. Let's do the math. 128. Do the math over here. I'm gonna drag this over here. Okay. 128 plus how many? 64. 192 minus 1, 191. Okay, that is my broadcast. So 192.168.5.191 slash 26. Okay, from here it's over. From here is first usable address is the one after the network address. Okay, so 192.168.5.129. The last is 192.168.5 dot, what's the last one? After, right? After 191. So 190. Okay? So all this is slash 26. Okay, and that's how I do this problem. I don't know if this, um, I find writing down like how Jimmy teach, I find the way he teach during, say during exam, I don't know how to convert de decimal to binary right away in exam. So I just want to find a way to do this quickly. But you need to understand a lot of stuff, at least in my the way I do it. Okay, I think I might write this wrong. 120, last one, and then broadcast 96. So I hope this is um, helpful in a way. Spend a lot of time try to, figure this out. So, and then the next one. All right, guy. Earlier my computer just shut down on me. So let's continue where we left off. And right here where we left off. So yeah, just wanna do a quick, LAN 1 and 2 real quick to show you guys the VLSM process. And then you just continue on. I'll do that later. But for the sake of the video and the time, I'm going to show you how I would configure on here. So like we used to do before, go to here, um, enter the privilege mode, and then go to the router configuration mode or terminal. FT, hit enter. Now we want to configure interface 1, G01. So interface G0/1. We now in. We're gonna set the IP address to 192.168. Dot, let's see, dot 5 dot 26. Okay. Oh, where am I at? Dot 26. 126. Okay, so this is the range, right? This is the range. So like you could use anything over point 0.1 all the way to 126. You could use. Now we're gonna set the subnet mask. This case slash 25. So we're gonna do 255.255.255 slash 128. That's the max, right? because it's slash 25, so like it's 128. If you do slash 26, then like 64, 127, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? So hit enter. So now it's done. Because this is a router, default you have to configure this. You have to turn it on. So like no shutdown. Do that. So now the interface is online. Um, Once you do that, you just go to PC1. I'm going to configure PC1 also. Oops, hold on. Fast internet, Ethernet, and now you're gonna enter the first usable address, 192.168.5.1, and then hit enter. All you need to do is just change 120 0 to 128 because it's subnet slash 25, so it's 128, right? So you just want to match the subnet that we set for the router. Okay, so that way it's communicate. You know where to go. Now do that, and then I don't know how I did that, but go here. I'm going to ping the router 192.168.5.126. That's what we said earlier. So you can see we got the reply back. All four are successfully pinged, um, meaning both direction could communicate to each other. So in this case, we successfully configure the first LAN. So I don't want to drag this video more, um, even more. So just want to show you, what's my thought process on these and how I would do it based on the previous video that he showed me. I spent about, I don't know, man, probably 2, 3 days just to rewatch it, do the practice, do the let me see, subnet, like this subnet question, all three that he recommended, all this. It's a lot. I'm still learning. So anyway, um, yeah, just want to show you real quick. Hope you learned something from this video. Also, this is for me in my future to go back and look at it, and I probably going to laugh at myself, but it don't matter. Anyway, goodbye.